Fabrizio Romano reports that Manchester United want both the Zirkzee and the Ligt deals done as soon as possible. This amongst news, Zirkzee is set to fly to Manchester for his medical, plus an agreement between United and Bayern Munich over the Ligt is reported as being close. Make sure you hit the like buttons. Make sure you are subscribing to the Football Terrace. Let's go. This is always going to be an interesting summer for Manchester United. And look, if you want to keep up to date with all the stories, all the news, download or just click on the link below and go and check out OneFootball. Have the app on your phone, use their website, whichever it is, the best one-stop shop for all your football needs. Just check it out. I don't need to say any more than that. If you haven't done it yet, I think you're mad. Scan the QR code, click on the link below. Now, many people probably would have expected Man United to pursue De Ligt this summer. We thought Branthwaite was going to be the main target, and he still may very well become a Manchester United player as well. 2 to 3 centre-backs are being discussed at this particular moment in time. Bids are going in for De Ligt, bids are going in for Branthwaite, and as we know, a bid has been accepted for Leny Yoro. More on him a little bit later. Fabrizio Romano, though, here says more on De Ligt. United and Bayern are also close on reaching an agreement. The fee, and they're talking currently. Bayern are insisting on 50 million euros, with Man United structuring the proposal with add-ons included. They want to get both these deals, Zirkzee and De Ligt, both from the Dutch national team, who were eliminated yesterday by England. They want these over the line sooner rather than later, for the players to get their holiday and then, of course, join United on their pre-season tour. As United look to rebuild, United look to get some quality back in their side, start to perform in a way in which that will inject some belief into the fan base and give us the hope that we can actually get back to challenging for major league titles, winning the big trophies once again. I'm excited about the Zirkzee deal. As I mentioned many, many times before, you can see the stories coming out of Italy that he is set to fly to Manchester very soon for his medical. The reports for a few days have been that the deal has been agreed between the player and the club, that Man United have told Bologna they're going to trigger the release clause. All the other parties, the Arsenals, AC Milans, etc., that were looking at Joshua Zirkzee have stepped away. He is going to become a Manchester United player. I think that's almost a certainty from this point. De Ligt, a few reports in Germany say that Man United and Bayern are still some way off of an agreement, but that doesn't actually match what the vast majority of people and sort of reports out there think, feel, and believe. And he's probably not a player that I would have focused on Man United trying to sign at the end of the season. I wouldn't, let's go get De Ligt. Maybe it's because I felt it was unattainable. And he certainly hasn't gone from strength to strength after leaving Ajax as I hoped that he would. But that's the negative side. That's the area where I'm not overly convinced. But there is part of me that is more trusting in this deal due to who is now running our football club, due to who is making the footballing decisions. So I'm hopeful that Man United can bring in De Ligt and we can get him back to his very best that we saw at Ajax, and hopefully beyond that point. But as ever, look, I do want to get your thoughts and I want to get your feelings in the comments section below in relation to these deals. In other news surrounding Manchester United, Samuel Luckhurst here says Manchester United is still awaiting for the Lille defender Leny Yoro to decide whether he wants to join the club or not. And what's very interesting is the way in which news is interpreted. So it is well documented and most likely true that Leny Yoro prefers a move to Real Madrid. But what has not been documented by the vast majority of outlets that make this claim is that he's only willing to join Real Madrid, that he only has a desire to play at the Santiago Bernabeu. What you're now starting to see more of is the idea that he's open to the idea of playing for Man United, even excited by the idea, but it just isn't his number one preference. Now, for a lot of football fans, this is a red flag, and we say, this is crazy. I only want a player that 100% wants to play for my club. But in the reality of professional football, how likely is it that you're going to be able to find 23 members of your squad who only have a burning desire to play for your football club and nobody else. That would dictate that there's only of football players that are good enough at the highest level that there is only ever 23 players. I mean, how would some clubs even build a squad? Because there's no way you're going to find 23 players who prefer Aston Villa over Arsenal, over Chelsea, over City, over Liverpool, over Tottenham, who are also of a level that could one day maybe make you win a Premier League title. And the same goes for Man United. We could never find 23 players that want us, solely us, or more so than every other single top club in the world. It's just unrealistic in reality. So yes, in that utopian vision, you want a player that's only ever wanted to play for Man United, would reject everybody else and would walk over hot coals to play for you. But in the reality of the professional game, same as in any other business, in any other industry, they may prefer Real Madrid. The player may prefer Man United. Doesn't mean they wouldn't play for other people. Because I reckon there's a good 3, 4, 5,000 professional male football players in the world that all want to play for Real Madrid, but they're currently all playing for other teams. So that logic for me, when you boil it down, doesn't make sense. The only time I do agree with it is if the player is publicly stating, I'm only leaving Lille for Real Madrid. I don't want to be anywhere else. I'd rather stay here. Then I would say stay away from the deal. But that isn't what's being said in this scenario. So I'm really intrigued to see what happens. The Ligt deal looks like it will happen. Zirkzee looks like it's going to happen. United are also working on the Ugarte deal as well, waiting on Leny Yoro. Some really good technicians, some really good football players to add to this Manchester United squad. What I'm not going to do, and I've said it all along, is get carried away. What I'm not going to do, and I've stated this many times, is start to almost over-egg the quality of those signings and what United are going to do next year. This is going to be a fairly lengthy process of getting back to the top. Now, I know Standard FC hate that, but nobody's been able to debunk this theory the whole time. This isn't about a top team who's challenging for Premier Leagues, changing manager, changing a director of football, needing a midfield rebuild or a new striker. This is a team that hasn't challenged for a league title in 11 years. This is a team that was subsequently eroded, had its standards taken away, had terrible practices internally, bloated full of staff, no identity. We were ruined. We were finished at the elite level in terms of challenging for leagues and being able to win Champions League titles. So to rebuild that, you're never going to do it in a singular summer. Absolutely impossible, in my very, very humble opinion. So it's going to take a few years. I look at the signings we're linked to. I look at the players we're talking to. I believe that's a very good start. More is needed. Some sales need to happen, and I'm sure they will. But with the structure we've built, the quality of personnel we're looking at, the prices and speed of our transactions and behaviors, all of this is a very good start to life under Ineos. And as a United fan, I'm keeping my feet ever so firmly on the ground. I'm not getting carried away. I'm not making any crazy assertions or predictions about the direction that we're going in. But what I will say is I'm very proud of the action so far and happy with the progress that I think we are making. But as ever, I want to gauge your views and I want to gauge your opinions on the stories from Fabrizio and other journalists today. Leave us your comments below. Make sure you are subscribing to the Football Terrace. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all soon. Peace.